Yes. Hello?
Hey,
Yes,
Terry.
go ahead, Terry.
Yes, my mother had a really bad reaction to a number of different drugs about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
She went into delirium, and then also she had a terrible dystonic reactions, which remains as sustained dystonic reactions in her feet.
Okay.
And since then, I have been afraid. Doctors constantly different doctors want to give other drugs, and I'm afraid because of it was like a nightmare, really, for 10 days. And
do you remember what the medication was that did this?
I
Was it something like
As I said, there
Seroquel?
were a number of different medications. The first one I think that set it off was Tramadol on top of SSRI and Flomax,
Okay.
which increases, my understanding is that it increases the absorption or something of those things. And so
Okay.
I think she had the serotonin toxicity at
Perhaps.
first. And then when she took Haldol is when she had the
There we
dystonic
go.
reaction.
Okay. Now, Terry, here's what happens. All medications are not the same. Okay? All people are not the same. All disease states are not the same. But there are certain medications that are notorious for doing this, and Haldol is one of them. Haldol is something called a butyrophenone. Okay, and acute dystonic reaction, tardive dyskinesia, many of these things happen with Haldol. They'll also happen with Seroquel, but the joke is it also happens in certain individuals with antihistamines. So before you throw everything out thinking that you're doing some good for your 84-year-old mom, understand this, okay, that every medication is beneficial and every medication is a poison depending upon rate, route, and amount. Every nutrient that you take is a poison as well as a nutrient, depending upon the rate, route, and amount. So before you throw out the SSRIs, okay, because causing acute dystonic reaction and tardive dyskinesia is not something that you typically see with SSRIs, I would be focusing on the things that are notorious for doing it, like Haldol. So if your mom required Haldol at that time, okay, it usually means she had some type of agitated episode, some type of activity issue. In other words, she's bouncing around, can't settle down. They're giving her Haldol to relax. What you need to do is to look for a medication that will do that without hitting these, let's say, these receptors that the butyrophenones are most notorious for nailing. So my advice would be to avoid Seroquel at all costs, avoid Haldol, and Terry, if you can hang on, I got a couple more things for you after the break.